Welcome back to Success Fundamentals Quick Tips, and this is tip number 3 in a series of 5 videos that we're doing on achieving your goals. The tip number 3 is asking yourself personal questions, getting into the habit of asking yourself personal questions. And you want to ask yourself these questions before you take any kind of action on something. It's kind of a cause and effect relationship where you take an action on something and it either gets you further from your goal or closer to your goal. So we all have that kind of decision point to make when something comes up and we know we should do something, but we have a tendency to want to do something else that we know we shouldn't do. And successful people do the right things over and over again. And success is obtained by creating the habit of doing the right things over and over again. You know, success isn't created overnight. It's a series of doing the right things over and over again. And so you want to ask yourself the question before you take action on something. You know, is this going to get me closer to my goal or further from it? Further from it. And I use this a lot when I was trying to lose some weight, and I go into I go into Subway, and it's lunchtime and I'm really hungry, and you have a choice to make. You either get the 6-inch without the chips and without the Coke, and you get apples instead of chips, and you just have that decision to make. And so when you're faced with that decision, you want to ask yourself, is this going to get me closer to my goal or further from it? Because you're going to have that. We're all going to have these moments where we're going to want to do something that we know we probably shouldn't do, and we know that it's probably going to get us further from our goal. And if you just take the time to stop and ask yourself, is this decision going to get me closer to my goal or further from it? And then let your mind answer the question. And it's a basic trick, but man, it works, I tell you. If you get into the habit of actually stopping for that moment when you have that second where you're inclined to do something that you know you shouldn't, something that you know is going to get you further from your goal, take that minute and stop and ask yourself. You don't have to do it out loud and look like an idiot talking to yourself, but ask yourself in your mind, is this going to get me closer to my goal or further from it? Another good place to use personal questions is when you wake up in the morning and you're kind of planning out your day. One of the first things that you ask yourself is, what can I do today to get me closer to my goal? To get me closer to my goal of blank, whatever it is. And it just gets your mind thinking, and you can actually, from that, you can actually create a series of daily goals. If your big goal is something that's supposed to happen in 30 days, you ask yourself, hey, what can I do today to get me closer to my goal of this? And let your mind answer it, and you're going to come up with some things that you can do. The personal question thing is a very powerful thing. You're sitting around and you have a moment during the day where you're not really doing. You've got some free time. Ask yourself the question: what can I do right now to get me closer to my goal? And your brain, if you're clear enough on your goals, your brain's gonna have answers for you. A really powerful thing. Just get yourself to ask questions before you take action on something. Kind of. Because like I said, we all know what we should be doing, and by asking yourself that question and just taking the time to stop and ask yourself that question, works really well for me. Hopefully it'll work as well for you. So thanks, and we'll see you on tip number 4.